Hey, what's up, guys? RoberOnocle, as better me, Rob, and I am here with my good buddy Keon and Jared. What's going on, guys?
Hey,
I'm tired,
Same.
but I'm gonna do this anyway, though.
Okay, so this is more of an inside joke, but this is a really cursed setup we have right now. It's me, Keon, and Jared, and we had this ongoing joke since sophomore year, actually, that any class we were all in was just the hardest class. And you know what? Every class we were all in tended to be really hard. We could talk about English in our sophomore year. Chemistry, especially in our sophomore year.
Oh, no, chemistry.
was a nightmare.
Chemistry.
Let's not even talk about that, man. That was
60 packets.
Right, 60 packets. All right, you see this like this one element, 60 pages. Due tomorrow. A packet. I'm just, And junior year, economics.
Oh yeah.
That class especially was cursed, let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Yeah,
that was way too much pressure.
Well, guys, let's just say, for you guys, because you obviously would not know, that teacher has some very interesting grading methods. Like, I mean, some really interesting grading methods. Like, you could be doing really good, but it just kind of didn't work. She was a special case. Let's just say that. She was a special case.
Yeah, but hey, she rolled the D10 to the score. It's like just.
Oh yeah.
Bro, that
great.
joke.
Yeah,
oh man.
That's a good joke.
Jared, that was one of the best jokes you ever told.
Hey, and speaking of rolling D10s, this is a podcast about RPGs, and I just made a D&D reference. Congratulations, I am the first person to be on topic this entire podcast.
That was a good transition. Wow.
Welcome to Out Loud Podcasting, where we get to the point, where we'll break off and then get to the point like 10 minutes later.
Yep.
Yeah, like that one time we kept talking about how you were saying pectoralis, but whatever.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Like that one time, I think you mean every time we do a podcast. When anybody says anything, it just all goes south.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's get on track.
Of course, right, because you're going to die and like, go to sleep or something like that. We don't want that happening. So, we are here to talk about role-playing games. Now, all three of us here have some decent amount of experience in it, thankfully. And Jared specifically told me that he had more experience in this. So, in case you don't know what the role-playing game is, which, if you don't, then I'm not even sure how you got in this server to begin with. Unless... I'm just not sure. But a role-playing game, to keep it short, it's a very stats-focused gameplay. That's really the best way you can put it. You know, you got to keep track of, usually, like, you have standard stuff like strength, intelligence, agility, dexterity, which is kind of like agility, but it's specific. You know, it depends how specific the RPG is. But it's really just set around statuses and maintaining them and making sure that they're all up to speed. Some games are more automatic than others. Depends on which RPG you're playing. And they tend to be very, very number-focused. But you have a few exceptions here and there that aren't quite as number-focused. Cough, cough, pray 2017. But, yeah, for the most part, usually it's very number-based kind of gameplay. So, as always, we like to start with the guests first because I'm usually, like, the wordiest of the one here. Actually, the only person that has upstaged me is my brother Mark in his rant about Fossil Fighters Fossil Fighters Frontier.
Which I still need to watch. You need to link me to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I will watch it.
He gets mad for like 45 minutes. That's like longer than any Breath of the Wild rant
Mark
I've done.
Mad?
Yeah, he legit gets mad about it.
I need to see that.
You thought I was fuming.
Please link me to that later.
Oh, of course, man. And, you know, that actually happens to be an RPG, too. And good thing he's not in this podcast, because he'd be roasting that game right now.
Tearing it a new one.
But, Keon, we haven't seen you in like forever, man. It's been like, what, quarter 1, 2018, man? It's been a while. We're in quarter 4 now. Where have you been?
I've been doing stuff, okay? Leave me alone. Too many fighting games have been coming out, and I've been freaking beating scrubs, alright?
Well, you know what? Too bad. I can't leave you alone. Since you've been gone for so long, you're going first. So let's keep it simple.
Yep.
What is the most recent RPG you've been playing?
Most recently, I've been playing Mother 3, and because I've just been playing it like just these past few days. But alongside Mother 3, the most recent one that I've played that was new to me was Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3 Portable, the PSP version. I got into it simply because of the Persona fighting game called Persona 4 Arena. I had downloaded Persona 4 Arena over at a friend's place. We played it. I had a lot of fun. And I was like, Persona was something that I always just sort of hated on for like no reason. I guess it was because it was popular and I just didn't like seeing it everywhere. But
sounds like a relationship with JoJo.
I was in like Persona just JoJo meets Kingdom Hearts.
It's like high school. It's like JoJo's high school adventure. I'll get into that in this. But yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I just sort of like didn't really like it for a reason. But yeah, after playing Persona 4 Arena and having such a like good time with it, I was like, all these characters are nice, but I don't really know much about them except for the character I always played the most in that game, which was a character named Akihiko Sonata. He's a boxer. And despite the game being Persona 4 Arena, he came from Persona 3. And since, Akihiko is my favorite character, I was like, okay, why not play Persona 3? And lucky enough, they happen to have Persona 3 on the PSP version of Persona 3 called Persona 3 Portable, as I've seen it earlier. And luckily enough, my phone is able to handle an emulator called PPSSPP. It's a PSP emulator that I can have on my phone. I got that, downloaded Persona 3. I gave it a shot, and I have not consistently played an RPG straight like through from beginning to end like I have with Persona 3 Portable in a long time. In 3 years. Last time I played an RPG that consistently was Mother 3, which is what I played 3 years ago, and even then I never really beat Mother 3.
How many hours did you clock on Mother 3, by the way? How long is that game?
I think I told you before. It was around 32 hours for me.
Were you like near the end of the game, or were you still like actually making your way through?
I was literally at the final boss.
Oh wow, it's actually a little shorter than Earthbound. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Earthbound was 40 hours.
Yeah, about 40 hours. That's weird. But it's not about the length; it's about the quality, of course. But
yeah,
but
actually, that
Persona
depends.
3 was the. All right.
Oh yeah, I was just speaking my mind.
Persona 3 was the one game I played through very consistently from beginning to end. I beat it, I believe, in the month of September after starting it in August. I beat it shortly after my birthday. By the way, freaking rip, there was a boss fight on my birthday in-game, and I was like, why the heck did this giant thing have to attack the city on my birthday? But anyway, yeah, I played through the game August 3rd and finished it September, I believe, 10th. And from what I heard about the Persona series, they're like a bunch of freaking 100-hour RPGs. I finished Persona 3 in around 79-ish hours.
That's like minutes.
What the heck? Oh wait, let me actually take a fast check. I got my emulator right here.
All right, go ahead, man.
I beat the game in around 79-ish hours, and I'm going through the exclusive female route that's only on Persona 3 Portable, the PSP version. Oh wait, I actually beat the game in 69 hours. Wow, how appropriate.
That's a interesting number. Also, it's just short of 70, so I'm annoyed by that.
Yeah, I am too, honestly. You want to know why? Because it's 69 hours and 51 minutes.
Go back and play that game again. Go back and play that game again. That's...
No, I literally... No, look, thing is, Robert, I literally can't because I've already beat it. And the thing is that, like, if I were to restart my save, like, if I were to go back to that save file after I beat the final boss, there's literally nothing I can do.
Boy, open it up and leave it on for 9 minutes, all right? We gotta...
No.
Do it.
There's no save points.
Well, just leave it on forever. That way it'll be over 70 hours one way or another. Just leave it on.
Robert, I'm not having it with your freaking OCD right now.
Buy a new phone. And just leave that one.
Whatever. Like I was saying, I hear a little bit of echo. I also hear a cat outside.
Oh yeah, that's you, Varen. The Jerry.
What cat?
Yeah. There's definitely echo. But
Yeah, you're like.
Anyway, I'm gonna.
You're like in the 5th dimension, Jared. Get out of there. Never do that ever again on my podcast, or I'm locking you in meme jail.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna lock you in meme jail, dude. But anyway, I don't hear it anymore, so I'll
it just stopped.
Keep on going.
Keep going, my guy. You're good.
But yeah, like I was saying, I'm currently playing through the female story that's exclusive to Persona 3 Portable, and currently I'm doing a new game plus run, so I'm going off of my my old save data with the male character. It let me just like start as the female character,
Nice.
and I'm around 20-ish hours into it. My total play time off that whole one thing is 91 hours and 6 minutes. So, like, yeah, that game has kept me hooked, even though I'm already on the second playthrough. And I'm just glad that I got the PSP version, not only because it was the one version that was most accessible to me, but it was just sort of, it has the female story, which, you know, it's just extra content. Unlike the PS2 version called FES, which has like an additional add-on to the original Persona 3 story, but a lot of people freaking hated it, and I didn't like it either. I like watched the cutscenes on YouTube or something. I was like, okay, good thing I didn't get the PS2 version. It's kind of whack. But yeah, speaking of the PSP version of Persona 3, it actually did quite a bit of things different that the original Persona 3 and Persona 3 FES didn't do. For example, there's new battle mechanics. Well, a few new battle mechanics, like 1 or 2, I think. There's a new mechanic called Dizzy. In that game, you can knock an opponent over. Like, you can knock them over and you can get like a free hit on them, like with another party member or something. And actually, I should just like go over battle basics, but whatever. But yeah, you can like knock them over, but like you can do that with special attacks, whether you get a critical attack or if you hit it with something that's weak, or if they attack you, they miss and they have a chance to like stumble over and fall. By the way, there you can fight arcane tanks in that game. And one time a tank slid over and tried to hit one of my party members, and it tripped and fell over. I died.
All right.
Like, I just witnessed a freaking high school girl with a bow dodge a tank trying to run her over, and the tank slipped and fell over. Okay, this game is amazing. But yeah.
Well,
anyway.
you know. You know.
Yeah, but anyway, downstate, like tripping, getting hit with a critical, or getting hit with something you're weak to will leave you in something called downstate, which of course, like, there's a chance of you getting up, and no, you'll always get up. But yeah, it basically leaves you vulnerable, and after you down an enemy, or an enemy downs you, you get to attack again. That's called a one more. But one thing that you can do after you attack an enemy and leave it in downstate, if you hit it with something else that it's weak to, or you hit another critical on it, then if it doesn't die, then
I'm sorry. Yeah. Just thinking about that.
What, the freaking tank slipping over?
Yeah, just man. Like I just read it in a certain voice that just made it funny.
Oh. But yeah, like I was saying, if you do another attack that's like, if you do another attack on a down opponent that would down them in the first place, they get something called stunned, sort of, which leaves them down for a full turn, which means that they can't move. Yeah, curve stomp them pretty much. Speaking of curve stomping, my favorite thing in that game is something called an all-out attack, where you down every enemy that you're going up against, because enemies can, like, you can find enemies in groups of, I think the max is 5 or 6, but it's like usually groups of 1 to 5. And if you down all of your enemies, you can do something called an all-out attack, which is you and all of your 4 party members just jump on all the enemies, and like this big old white smoke cloud pops up, and you're just beating the crap out of it. And after it's done, if you kill the enemy, a skull of white smoke will puff into the air. It's the most satisfying thing when you see the big old damage numbers, like 1,356 or something like that. But yeah, all outs are fun.
Oh yeah.
But I guess what really dragged me into Persona, like what kept me playing was a few factors. One, I really like the game's art style. The game, it's 2006. It's got this, Eastern sort of quote unquote anime art style. I mean, it looks nice. It doesn't look freaking terrible. It's nothing too abstract or something that'll like drive anybody away. It's something comfortable to look at. Another thing was the music. Persona music is something that's kind of hard to describe, to be honest. You have to like listen to it yourself. I don't know, I'll probably like go into the description, like not the description, the comment section of this video once you get uploaded to YouTube, and like leave a few links of some of the quote unquote weirder Persona tracks, because Persona's music is just, like I said, just something you can't really describe.
Sure,
like,
go ahead, my guy.
Really, yeah, like the music really adds on to the experience. It really gives it like an individual, like its own individual identity. Another thing was the social link system. The social link system was something that was new to Persona 3, and it pretty much has you going around talking to other people, making friends, like some of the random NPCs. Like if you I'll have to listen to it now, but I got some but never listened. Oh, you should definitely give a few tracks a listen. I would say listen to a track called Mass Destruction from Persona 3. That song's really good. But yeah, social links are basically you going around and talking to these like random NPCs, like solving their problems, helping them, just sort of building them up as a character. Like one guy, there's this guy who's like super sick and he's going to like die pretty soon. It's the most depressing social link like ever, and you have to sit there and sort of comfort him for like 10 times. You have to go and meet him 10 times to max out the social link. What's the point of social links? Well, that's how you power up your ranks of your persona. The persona are divided into the arcana, like how freaking Part 3 JoJo was. But yeah, they're divided up by the arcana, and each social link has an arcana tied to it. And so the more you do the social links, the more personas you make after. Like if you make one of like the chariot arcana, and your social link rank with the chariot, like with the chariot arcana is high enough, it'll actually get power based upon how strong the social link is. So if you have like a rank 10 social link, not only will the persona that you make just get like a ton of XP and be stupid strong, but you also get access to something called an ultimate persona. Each of the arcana has an ultimate persona at the very end of the social link. Like for example, the strength ultimate arcana is Siegfried. The chariot one, I believe, is Thor, etc., etc. And like getting and grinding all those out and getting all the ultimate personas is pretty challenging, considering some social links can only be done on like certain dates. And if you actually do all of the social links, you actually get rewarded for it. Like if you max out all of them, you get a special persona at the end of the game called Orpheus Telos, who is like just the most broken thing in the universe.
Well, you earned it.
Hence why it's the end game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Orpheus Telos is very broken though. But yeah. One thing that's really good about the other social links is they're not just like, bland generic guy, hey, help me with like my cat's stuck in the tree, help me get my cat. Like, no, it's like actual genuine feels that you can feel from a lot of these characters. They were okay in Persona 3. Like, a lot of them were okay and a lot of them were really good. But I hear that they get later on down the series. Speaking of, Persona 5 is only like $20 on PS4, and I need to hop on that real fast. But right now, my playthrough of the female route, I'll have to say that the female social links are actually a little better, because you actually get a social link with the one of the party members, who is my favorite character, named Akihiko Sanada. And his story just feels very genuine. Akihiko is a boxer who he really became a boxer because of something that happened in his childhood. He's always, going on about getting stronger because his sister died somehow, and he's just like, okay, I need to get stronger to protect people. And he never really tells that to anybody, but as you're going through in these social links, you can see how the female protagonist is like taking like sort of a toll on Akihiko, because she reminds him of his little sister, and so he's like a lot of his character comes out, and that's one thing that I just really like about it. It gives you a side of these characters that you never usually see in like normal gameplay. It's pretty much like expansion upon the character, and it makes you like him a heck of a lot more. And when I see something that helps you get closer to characters, that's like an instant win in my book, because I love just seeing characters get written and all that. But yeah, social links. And I guess the last thing that really drove me into Persona 3 was the simplistic battle system. The battle system in Persona 3, it's not hard at all. Just, you have a few commands. You have attack, you have switch your persona, though that's only for your main character, because for some reason your main character can have multiple personas. I guess it's because of his arcana is 0, which is the Fool, which is like infinite possibilities. So you can get like a bunch of different personas. So you can attack, switch your persona, use a persona skill, which is usually like a big attack, some fireball or something like that. And you can use items, you can run, whatever. And you can also tell your AI teammates how to act. So your AI teammates aren't just sitting there freaking attacking when you obviously need healing. But good thing about good thing about Persona 3 Portable is that you can actually take control of your teammates, because I heard that the AI in the original Persona 3 is just retarded. Like, you'll have there's this one really inaccurate move in that game called Marin Karen, and it inflicts a status called Charm, and that pretty much it like swindles the opponent into like either attacking its teammates or healing one of your characters. The same thing can also happen to your characters. It is the most infuriating stuff ever, by the way. And thing is, the move is really inaccurate, and the character in your party who has that move will freaking spam it like there's no tomorrow. One hit from killing the boss, Marin Karin, boom, up, it missed. Guess what? We're fighting the boss. It just swept us all out in one attack. Thanks for using that inaccurate freaking attack. But yeah, anyway, like, what was I going on about? Yeah, just the simple battle system. Yeah. Yeah. I think I sort of went over about downstate and all that earlier, so I don't really need to go over it, really. And I guess I just kind of said really everything I liked about it. I don't want to give any story spoilers, though.
Oh, of course.
Because that game's story is pretty freaking good. I highly encourage you go through and actually play yourselves, because it's just a great one.
Oh yeah, I want to check this out now.
Oh, dude, go for it. Like, please go for it. I'd recommend getting the PSP version. Like, if you can find it on an emulator or something. But if you're like if you're more so for like seeing a lot of character models and all like these cool animations, then get Persona 3 FES for like the PlayStation 2. Because Persona 3 and Persona 3 FES are on the PlayStation 2. They use like models. Yeah, the game came out in like 2006. They use like models to like it's like set play. They like use models for like talking and all that. But the portable version is more like a visual novel. where it's sort of like a character portrait and a background, and that's pretty much all there is. I'd say that I like the visual novel sort of style more, but really it's just whoever's cup of tea at the end of the day. And even then, I think that Persona 3 Portable has like a bit more refined battle mechanics. Plus, it has the female story, which is pretty good so far. So yeah, Persona 3. I'd highly give it a play. It's definitely one of my favorite RPGs, like, currently. That game was the stuff, and I'm gonna be playing it a heck of a lot more later. So yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you remember saying, like, before the podcast, but you said you want to talk about Persona 3 for about 20 minutes. You talked about Persona 3 for about 20 minutes.
All right.
You see, I'm a man of my word. Man of my word.
That kind of
did exactly what you set out to do.
It checks out.
See, I'm a man of my word. I don't lie to these people. Now, Jared, it's your turn.
Yep, it's your turn, my guy.
All right. I have no idea. No idea. No idea how long I'm going to talk about this, but the latest actually, so I should say RPG franchise that I've been playing for a while, because I've been switching between them. As a Pokemon franchise. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. The Pokemon franchise, but I've been doing Nuzlockes because I'm gonna be honest. The Pokemon the vanilla Pokemon games, they're just too easy on their own, and the latest ones are, oh my god. Press A to win.
So what's the least brain dead age of Pokemon to you?
The least brain dead. Well, it progressively gets less difficult. So you'd be looking after the you'd be like I'd say. Can anyone else hear that, like, computer the computer noises?
Yeah, I heard it. It's no big, man. Keep going.
Oh, all right.
It was a bit laggy for me, so I just left and came.
You know, Discord things.
Oh, right. But let's see. So you're gonna want. I can't talk to. I can't talk again.
Guy. Take your time.
But are you gonna want to play the earlier Pokemon games? I'd recommend Fire Red slash because each generation is like 2 games or sometimes 3.
Okay.
You want Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then Soul Silver and Heart Gold, because those are actually the latter of which are the best games in the franchise.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, dang. No representation for Pokemon Platinum? The one Pokemon game I actually liked?
How many Pokemon games have you played, Keon?
I don't know, man. I've played Fire Red, Emerald, Platinum, Black and White. I played Pokemon Red and Blue. Don't think I've played any of the Generation 2 games, like Gold. I mean, like Crystal and stuff. I played Heart Gold, though. I haven't played Black 2 and White 2, and I haven't played X, Y, or Sun and Moon. I've just sort of played Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 3, and Gen 1. That's about it. So I've played about 4 generations of Pokemon games. That's about it.
I have at least one game from every generation except the latest ones, Sun and Moon. I'm actually doing a kind of I'm gonna call it a Nuzlocke dynasty. So I play one Nuzlocke, and then all the surviving Pokemon get carried over to the next game.
Hey, messing around.
Oh yeah. Although the logistics are a bit weird, because for most of the games you need to, like, beat the Elite Four to transfer your Pokemon. So after you beat the Elite Four, you clear the Nuzlocke. So that kind of defeats the point of what I want to do. But let's see, the games I have with me for this are Fire Red, Soul Silver, I have Omega Ruby, Diamond. Unfortunately, I don't have Platinum. I do hear Mark on that Platinum's the best out of the Gen 4 games. But
Platinum's so good.
I'll have to get Platinum a try because I hear that game is contender for the best Pokemon games there. But I have Pokemon White 2 version, and then Pokemon X right here. And
you gotta grab the cases.
Oh yeah. Actually, I have the. Actually, had to go get the cases for those because. And as for the Gen, are we on 7 at this point? 5, 6. Yeah, we are. So I think I'm gonna get Ultra Sun then, for the last game. Oh, he's like the Rob of Pokemon. Yes. Wait, Titans General, is that Mark?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey Mark. the other Mark.
Dickpin. Diggles.
We don't go by last names here, Markion.
I'm sorry, dude. There's 2 Marks, and I just, you know how I am.
No, we call him White Mark.
All right, I'll take note of that.
What is this? The 70s?
No, I'm just a weeb. I call people by last name.
Weebs do that?
Yeah, just like how they do in Japan. Yeah. But anyway, Jared's freaking talking about Pokemon. I'm talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, Keon's on a schedule, Jared. Keep going.
Oh, let me see. What was I saying? I have games for it.
You're talking about I think Ultra Sun. We were talking about Ultra Sun.
Oh yeah. So let me see. I plan to get Ultra Sun eventually, although I don't know how I'll feel about Ultra Sun because I in the previous podcast it's all about like not having challenges. Maybe Pokemon. I think maybe Pokemon's the reason why I don't like. This game's getting easier and easier. Oh boy, that might be it. No.
Well, at least we're giving yourself a fair self-assessment.
Yep. But
Jared, it's time for you to take a trip back to the freaking glory days of hard video games.
Not down to the 80s though. That's bull.
No.
That's bull.
Well, you can never win.
Right there,
those arcade games that you can never win. Oh, I would not like those.
Not even that. Even NES. Like, I'm gonna be real with you for a second. I think a lot of NES games suck in general. Like they just aren't that good. Like if I'd be honest with you, Nintendo wasn't really all that good until the 90s, and that's actually the peak for them for me.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo is the gem. That's where we got all those cool Super Nintendo RPGs, which we'll be talking about later.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna agree on you with that.
And shoot, the N64. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
Where's some love for that system?
The controller wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
The controller was terrible.
Hey, it was still a good platform though. It had some good games on it.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, Uncle Tomas is calling me out on my crap. He said Duck Hunt was... I mean, you had some good NES games. Just most of them kind of sucked. Just in my opinion, like a lot of them are just not very good.
I mean, of course, you have the classics like the original Mario and
yeah, that was fine.
And Legends.
Even Zelda was kind of fine to a degree, but we're getting to stuff like
Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah, but when you get to stuff like Earthbound Beginnings and Mega Man 1, it just I'm sorry.
And freaking Fire Emblem Gaiden.
Yeah, I've heard about the horrors of that.
That game was trash, and it's actually an RPG. Woohoo! I'm staying on topic again. I'm on fire tonight.
Hey, I mentioned Earthbound Beginnings. Where's my rep?
Jeez, I mentioned Zelda.
Well, you didn't call yourself out, so.
Okay, Keon, whatever you say, buddy.
Oh, he got us.
Plus, I was 2 for 2. Take that. Anyway, Jared, keep going.
Let's see, but I believe I was going on about how easy the Pokemon
beginning.
Yeah, but so at college, some well, not classmates, like campus mates or whatever. Same campus, but I see people playing the game, and apparently there's this how do I describe it? So there's this feature of the game where you play like a free lottery or something. It's like the Rotom thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. And basically, just gives you like free stuff for like no effort. Okay. I think at that point, just just like free items and stuff. Just I don't know.
Win our game.
Yeah, press A to win. Back to that.
Yeah, pretty much. They're just saying win our game.
That's next Pokemon generation. That's Gen 8. Oh no.
Gen 8, you just hit start at the start button. You just win.
Let's see. So there's that. Although the graphics of course get better each generation. So I'm a fan of that though. I'm not too graphics heavy, but it helps. It definitely helps.
I mean, Pokemon's been limiting themselves to handhelds for like quite a while, so they're gonna have some limitations here and there, of course.
Right.
Can I just say like a tiny little piece real fast?
Knock yourself out.
Why did it take them all the way up till 2011 to actually have like the Pokemon, like when you send them out to battle, like they're actually moving around and stuff? Like like they actually have animations instead of being freaking still dot, like they're just still dot PNGs just on the screen like staring at each other just intensely. But then Pokemon Black and White came out and they're all animated and moving around, and it looks just like, why did it take them so long?
Yeah, I've always known this. I've always noticed that part.
Keon, no, you forgot to remember one thing. You're talking about a Nintendo game. They take forever to implement anything.
That is true.
Fair enough.
Hey, I'm just speaking the truth here.
Stadium. Yeah, fair enough.
Let's see. That's why I keep forgetting when I'm about to talk about.
Welcome to Out Loud Podcasting. Enjoy your stay.
Okay.
It's because we're so late, Jared. Don't blame us. Blame the time period.
11:31 is not that late. I mean, it's kind of late, but it's not that late.
Robert, it's almost
for college students. It's not that late for college students.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Jared's not wrong there.
Sleep, like get to bed at like 6 a.m.
Right, yeah.
Just 2 hours of sleep. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's healthy.
Yeah, we've biologically rearranged ourselves, Keon. You gotta come over to the dark side, my guy. Was that a reluctant moan I heard?
What else could it have been?
Well, you have claimed on several occasions that you make random sounds.
That is very true, but not at this very moment. I actually, for some reason, keep tame during podcasts. I don't know why.
Strangely enough, you're not wrong there. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't curse. I don't make random noises all the freaking time. Like, well, whatever.
Yeah. I've noticed I'm a bit more, I don't know, mellow is the word, but I feel a bit different when I'm like in podcasts, like at online or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's a zero pressure environment.
You
talk for as long as you want to. I don't give you a limit.
Well, now
we're talking about some RPGs, man.
Who's tidying it up? Is
That is my uncle.
Oh,
he plays video games and he's really smart and pretty cool. And he saved podcasts one time. That's why he's a guy who saved podcasts.
Hey, it's a saver of I need a nickname for you.
Tighten it up. It's right there.
And there's that. But
it literally writes itself, dude.
But there's it's like 5 Titans, 6.
Yeah, we're
6 Titans.
We're a family.
The Titan Squad.
The Titan Squad, yes. Yep. Let's see.
So basically, it seems like you're not really playing one Pokemon. It's like you're making it like one big journey, is what you're telling me here.
Yeah, I'm making it a dynasty or something. And,
so every Pokemon is like the one game you're playing, essentially. They're all one game. All right, okay. That's pretty dope. Definitely one of the most interesting takes for tonight.
I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of like stories that take place like from generation to generation. As part of the reason why I'm such a big fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Hey.
There's chapter 1 and then he passes and then the story passes on to the main character's grandson and then it all goes from there.
It just kind of gets weird after part 3 though. But that's for another day.
Yeah, like Dio eating rocks.
Please.
Oh no, spoilers! Oh.
Trust me, that's not the most important thing that happens in part 7.
Okay,
good. I'm sorry, just getting off topic again. I was dying laughing when I saw that, and I had to share that with Keon immediately. Like, I'm just like, look at this. Look at the main antagonist eating some rocks right now. Just look at him.
But yeah, the guy who freaking single-handedly like almost murdered like the freaking main protagonist in part 3. He's just eating some rocks.
You know.
But yeah.
So what does he want to say about Pokemon, Jarrett?
What's special about a Pokemon?
No, not special. Just what else do you have to say about it? Because I bet you guys are gonna love what I've got.
I'm curious to hear what you have. I don't know if I have too much more to talk about on my end for now.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, just stop whenever you want to.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not gonna count Chrono Trigger because I hardly touched it. Because it's that's around when college started, and if you guys have been following, like since college started, I don't even know what I want to do anymore. I'm just kind of running in circles doing assignments, and then I just I stopped doing an assignment, I just start running in circles again. Like, that's my current life at the moment. So I haven't really gotten around to properly playing Chrono Trigger yet. But the one I can explicitly remember before that one, oh boy, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet.
And this is where I leave.
Oh no, SSAO. Sorry.
I'm kidding, of course.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know what? At this point, it doesn't even matter, because y'all ready to ride the train to hell? Because I'm ready to.
Sure, why not? Got
Welcome
nothing.
to our game where the only thing decent about it is freaking gameplay.
Yes.
You know what? He kind of summed it up right there. But you know what? I'm Rob. I'm Robert Lawrence Baker Jr. All right. I don't stop at just that. You know me, guys. I gotta go deep. I gotta go deep.
Brought out the government name. Brought out the government name.
Right.
Man. It's
Don't
serious.
dox me.
Lawrence.
Please.
It's serious. Some serious stuff.
So yeah, let's get real here. So, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. So, keep in mind, I've known almost next to nothing about Sword Art Online, except for the fact that people tend to really dislike the story, like of the anime, apparently. And I'm not even that big of an anime fan, to be honest. I mean, I almost exclusively watch shonen, and I almost won't watch anything else. You really can't get me to. I just refuse to, for the most part.
Hey.
But I just heard about it because I guess it counts as a shonen. I guess, but
it doesn't.
Yeah,
it kind of doesn't.
Yeah, SAO, more like SA no. Get out! You're locked in meme jail. That's it. That's the last straw. You're in meme jail. I'm sorry. You're going to jail.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Lock him up.
Hey, Baron.
Put him in the summer.
All right. You can come out when you've learned your lesson.
I'll never learn.
Guess you're staying in there.
We'll
Anyway.
No.
Anyway. So yeah, SAO. So yeah, I didn't have a lot of high expectations coming into this game. When I saw Fiddle, but I'm like, oh, it looks like a pretty decent game, you know. I like to play shooters, you know, keyboard and mouse and whatnot. But hold on. Oh man, there we go.
Oh jeez.
I had to get that out. Excuse me. But oh man, it's water. Oh man, I'm sorry. I can't even stop that. It just had to come out of my chest. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of high expectations coming in a Fatal Bullet. You know, I'm like, you know, just everything surrounding this. I've got a bad feeling about this. So, you know, I boot it up and everything's alright for, you know, a few hours and whatnot. You know, the story is pretty alright. You go into the world of, what is it, Gun Gale Online or Gun Gale Online or something like that. My weeb is not very good. Or whatever they call it. Yeah, so you're doing that, like that gun era, gun arc, or whatever the heck it is. I do not follow the anime, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But GGO, I know that much. So you're in Gun Gale Online, and you get registered. Your friend, Kuriha. I am horrible with Japanese names. A lot of them I probably don't even remember, to be honest. I forget them way too fast. That's why Part 4 for JoJo was a struggle for me, by the way. But, But, yeah, your friend Kureha, whatever her name is, helps you get in the game and whatnot. And she's showing you around. I'm not going to lie, the first few hours are extremely boring because nothing is just happening gameplay-wise. You're just talking to people, going here or going there, you know. Once it kicks off, it's actually pretty decent. But the story is essentially, you got this robot, this android that you get near the beginning of the game. And you're like, oh, okay, well, it's a pretty cool android. Well, if you want to upgrade her, or her or him, whatever you want it to be. I had it be a she, and I'll get to that in a second. But, you know, if you want to upgrade her, you gotta go through these other dungeons and whatnot and get these augmentations for her. And apparently she's a really rare android in the game or something like that, and everybody wants to steal her so they can use her as an android to fight on their team or something like that. Yeah, it's not a very interesting plot. I mean, it does get a little deeper than that, but as it gets a little deeper, the story just gets a lot worse, and we're gonna go over that. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So first of all, when I made the android a female, originally I was actually gonna make it a male. I was actually gonna make it my brother Mark, because I'm like, what the heck, you know, my brother's an android helping me out, all right. But the voice for the male android was too high, and his voice is, as you guys have heard, much deeper than mine. So I'm like, alright, that ain't gonna cut it because that ain't the Mark I know. So I switched it over. I'm like, you know what, why not do my sister Jasmine? Because why not? And the voice worked out pretty well too. So I'm like, okay, you know, just having some giggles and whatnot, you know. I'm like, you know, alright. My sister's an android. Everything's okay, you know, the android's being pretty chill and whatnot, you know. A little peppier than I like, but, you know, because I just hate cheerfulness and general enjoyment. But
how dare you be happy?
Right.
You are depressing. I thought I was depressing.
Yeah, tell me something new. I mean, have you seen my Twitter feed? Come on now.
Yes, I have. Of course I have.
And my buddy Mark, my friend Mark, is saying everything is too high to match Mark's voice. Yeah, that's true. Like, next to my dad, he has, like, the deepest voice in the server, like, by far. It's ridiculous, man. But yeah, so I switched over to my sister Jasmine. I just named the android Jasmine. I'm like, alright, so my sister's an android, and we're killing out people on the field, you know. So something starts getting kind of weird. It starts shaking me a little the wrong way when I'm playing through with it. And yes, Mark, Titan is the only one with the power. He has the most Titan energy, of course. He is Titan after all. Yeah. You know, weirdly enough, I should have the second most Titan energy, but that belongs to my brother, and I'm actually quite lower now that I think about it. You know, mega sad. But that's besides the point.
You're bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. But so something started shaking me a little the wrong way. Started, rubbing me the wrong way when I was with this Android thing. See, I forgot something. This is an SAO game.
Oh no.
That is my fatal mistake. I forgot it was that.
Fatal mistake, fatal bullet.
Yeah. I was just about to type that in.
Ooh, get out of my server. About to lock you in meme jail too.
Oh no.
Right, wait, you can't lock me in meme jail. I'm the meme cop. That doesn't make sense.
But I can demote you.
Oh no.
Man, this is democracy, bro. This is BS.
So yeah, let's just hurry up and get to the point. I'm sure the audience is waiting. They want to hear the thing. So eventually the android starts acting a little funny around my character Rob. My character's Rob. He's got to be like me. I couldn't really get short hair, so I just kind of give him like spiky-ish, shortish hair. It just kind of worked out. By the way, I do love that game's aesthetic. By the way, it looks really good. With especially how they handled the cell shading with the blue and red lines. It just looks cool the way they had it hit the models. It was actually really nice looking. But yeah, so Jasmine started acting a little funny around me. And, I'm just going to explain this the way it is. So, started acting funny around me. And so, eventually, at one point, so this game has certain visual novel aspects to it, believe it or not. Now, to be honest, I am not the biggest fan of visual novel stuff, but I can tolerate it. It's not like it ruins my day or anything like that, And the visual novel stuff, well, already, when SAO was using it, it was like for cutscenes that, sometimes crucial cutscenes, so it was ultra lazy. Like, they would have, like, a full motion. Well, even like, the in-game cutscenes, like, the non-visual novel ones were kind of lazy, to be honest. But the visual novel ones, for sure, were, it was definitely worse. But, so we had some, eventually, because I always consult Jasmine in-game to, customize my guns. Because, I'm a red lover. I love the color red. So, I'm always, like, tuning my stuff up to be red as possible. And customizing my, my guns, or I want to just look at my bank account if I want to make a deposit, and mess with interest and whatnot, But occasionally, my Android Jasmine will, she'll instead of making me go straight to the menu where like, what do you want to do? We'll go straight into a visual novel cutscene. So the first few times I was just like, okay, fine. I mean, I really just don't want to do this. Can I just get back to, managing my bank account, please? But, eventually there was one thing that, like, it got so many no's out of me. Like, I was so fast to change it. So, here's what it turns out. Against my will, I didn't even ask for this. My character falls in love with the android. A cybernetic adaptation of my sister. Yeah, I'm not joking. And again, I forgot this is an SAO game, so I did not see this coming. And you're talking about awkward, man. And this is like one of those date visual novel things. So at that point, I was cringing out of my mind. So then, like, my character, they head home. They head back to, like my character's apartment or home, or I'm not really sure what you call it, to be honest. And Jared is just losing his mind in the chat right now. And then she starts talking about the concept of love and whatnot. I'm like, oh no,
you know what?
Robert done did a bad.
Can I add a piece?
As long as it's appropriate for the podcast, yes.
Nobody, and I repeat, nobody will ever do human female robots becoming human better than Persona 3 did. Why? The character Aegis. Again, you'll have to play Persona 3 to know it, because I'm not gonna sit here and spoil it. But dear God, her character development is some of the best I've seen, like, ever. She actually becomes genuine, and her connection with the main protagonist is. It's like the greatest moment of character development in the entire game, in my opinion. And from what I'm hearing of SAO Fatal Bullet, it just
ain't any of that, my guy. It ain't any of that.
Like it's a good reason that Zuko in The Last Airbender. unsure actually. I'm just talking like in my opinion, like in the entire series of Persona, in my opinion. That's where I'm gonna put my limit to.
Oh, okay. I goes, hey, Mark, also watch that, man. You're gonna make me cry over here, all right? It was a beautiful series. A beautiful character arc.
It really was, man. Suko's my boy. But yeah. Dang it! I lost my freaking train of thought. I guess. Oh yeah. It's like I guess actually has a reason to fall in love with the main character, unlike what it seems to be with freaking this SAO character who just does because she does. But yeah, play Persona 3. You won't regret it. It is like it's a fine game. You'll see character development like you never knew.
Speaking of regret, can I get back to mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
My bad. I just wanted to add that little piece of robot girl.
Oh, sure. Some of that Persona rap. Like, I get you.
Yep. Persona. All right.
So it got really awkward, and nothing was actually implied with this, but eventually, and this sealed the deal. I'm like, I just wanted to, like, get a gun to my head and just shoot myself at that moment. But apparently, our characters spent the night sleeping together. I'm like, alright, okay, gotta go into an overhauling and make some changes. Papa Rob done messed up. And nothing was implied by it, but it was just plain creepy, let me tell you, man. I was just like, you know what? I should just delete this game off of, I should get a refund. I should ask for a refund like 20 hours, not even 20, it was like 12 hours into the game. Like, I gotta get a refund. I gotta delete this game. I gotta sue Namco for this. Sue Bandai Namco for this, man. Yes, yeah, it should be exceeding its limits. Your cringe is exceeding your limits. Yeah, for sure, Mark. It should be exceeding it. I was imagine how, dude. I was a freaking raisin. Like I was like, ugh. I'm like I couldn't do it, man. So what I did is, I couldn't change the name. Yeah, I folded. I'm like, in fact, I went to like the first dimension. It was just a line there. That's how many times I overlapped when I was cringing. That's a smart joke, people. But yeah, I immediately went to the character changer and I completely changed her look. She didn't even look like my sister anymore. The name was stuck as Jasmine, but that doesn't matter. There's plenty of girls named Jasmine. But I just had to completely change the look up. I changed her favorite color and everything. I'm like, no, this is a new person. I just retconned the game. I'm like, I had to stop it right there. So no. So Jasmine, I'm sorry, I forgot it was an SAO game. You're still pretty awesome, alright? Then if I ever decide to play another one of these games, I'll be more considerate and more careful next time before I do anything. Look, just imagine if I stuck with Mark.
Watch Mark just turn out to be a robot.
That would have been sweet. Like, hey, you want to go out and like get some colas? That would have been nice, actually. I'm like, you know what? That's legit. Cola. That's pretty legit. All right. Which is something we've done in real life. Just sat around and drank soda. Why not? And the other Mark over here is saying that my brother Mark is a robot. They kind of have like an almost low-key rivalry, except my brother Mark just can't commit to it at all. He just kind of laughs. But I feel like that just kind of adds to my friend Mark's theory, so, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I had to go straight into overhauling that. I was infuriated. I'm like, you know what? I'm both mad at the game and at myself. At the game, of course, because, well, the character arc was just bad. I mean, like, how do you fall... I don't really say you can fall in love with somebody by going out into a big wasteland and lighting up everything. Like, there's nothing really romantic about that. Like, really. Like, whipping out a couple of miniguns and spraying down everybody in front of your path. It's not... I don't know. That doesn't really sound like any character development can really happen there. I don't know. Just, I don't know.
A freaking massive massacre doesn't set your loins afire? What the heck? What's wrong with you?
I feel like that's what the writer at SAO is telling me right now.
I've actually watched the first two the first two seasons of SAO. It's just as awkward and bad as you described. So
the first 10 episodes were somewhat decent. That was literally it.
Yeah, man.
Everything else was so much.
But yeah, that was an absolute nightmare. And you know what? I haven't even gotten to, like, the core story or the gameplay yet. Y'all ready?
No.
Remember, this is Rob speaking. And, you know, I like to cover everything.
I'm getting comfortable. All right. So, you know what? Let's just go on. All right?
All right. You gentlemen ready?
Nope.
Oh, well, yeah. Actually, you know what? That's the response I was looking for. That was the response I was looking for. All right. So, first, we'll just get the story out of the way, and then we'll go over the gameplay last. You know, it's the best part of the game by far. Let's save the best for last, you know. So, I already mentioned how the story was kind of like, you know, just get the robot parts and, well, upgrade your android. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. And, you know, it's just kind of that. But what really starts to annoy me with the plot is that about halfway through it, the plot starts padding out, and boy, is it annoying. Let me tell you. It's like, hey, you know what, I want to fight you now. Hey, I want to fight you to get your android. Hey, I want to fight you because I feel like you think you're better than me, and I want to fight you because I'm incompetent, or I feel insecure. Or, hey, the master, you want to go on a date? No, not really, but, you know, that happens. You know, I'm like, no, just stop, everybody stop talking to me. It's nothing but that. It's just, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Or if it's not, I want to fight you, it's, hey, let's go into this dungeon or fight this boss because reasons. Or, you know, it just keeps doing this nonsensical stuff where it's just, it's like... like, the devs know. They know that the story is like 3 hours long. And you know how much time I spent on this game? 28 hours. And when I got to about the halfway point, it just kept repeating itself. And I'm just talking like, man, I just really got tired. It got to a point where I was pretty much skipping the dialogue, and you can't really say I was skimming it. I was just kind of like hitting the enter button. I was like, all right, yeah, I got you. Because even when the characters were talking, they weren't talking about anything. It was either really personal stuff that really has no business being there in the main storyline. Like, if the goal is to, and eventually you have to go on like the SS Flugel, I believe it's called, which is supposed to be the mothership, and also quite literally the mother of the android that you're working with. Look, I'm spoiling the story because, listen, there is nothing to miss here. There is nothing to miss here. So, yeah, the ship quite literally is the mother of the android you were working for, or the android that's working for you, excuse me. But yeah, it gets caught into this spiral of nonsense that you just don't care about. And you can tell the game is just trying to pad it out. It's like it's fighting till its last breath, and it's so pathetic, man. And every time the game tries to get emotional, it's like you can already tell, because sometimes the emotional parts gotta get caught up into the padding. So even if it's trying to get somewhere, it just kind of ends up not working. And sometimes the emotional parts are like just spontaneous too, like they come out of nowhere. There was really no build up to it. Somebody just kind of gets sad out of nowhere and wants to get all deep. I'm like, that's not how that works. Don't come at me with that. No. Where'd this come from? It's just messy, man. Like, the only, like the saddest I ever probably got in that game is when, this one lady, I forgot her name, she's some professional player, she's, got, like, purple hair or something like that, and a white getup. She also has an android that's of the same rarity as yours. I forget her name, but she ends up dying, like, literally. Like, not like in-game, like, actually, she legit dies. Because,
oh no, that's sad.
Yeah, because she's wearing a special headset. She ends up getting, like, blasted by a laser from the final boss. Which, well, yeah, you know, she died in game, so she died in real life. They said that they found her just, like, dead in her office or something like that. You know, just, I'm like, oh, that guy kind of sucks. Like, she, like, the best character in the game was, well, I guess she was a main character, but, I mean, again, this story is so rushed, it's not even funny. I mean, the introduction of the characters is just, rather than them naturally showing up on their own, it's just like, Kirito is like, hey, let's just meet all my friends, and you just go to his apartment like, hi, I'm X, hi, I'm X, hi, I'm like, you guys didn't even try. You just
oh, hi there, we're friends now.
They put him in a room, and they were like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, and just, hi, we're friends now. They literally cramped them in a room and just did that. Just pathetic. Just sad. So, the moral of the story is, for this game's story, destroy all anime. That is my solution.
Hey, let's not get too hasty.
Destroy all anime. That is the law now.
What's gonna happen to our JoJo though?
Yeah.
What about My Hero and freaking Dragon Ball?
I don't recall.
And Avatar,
I don't recall Maname being anime.
Oh.
I mean, fair enough.
Got a loophole.
But yeah, that story is just, yeah, man. Because you know what? Save for some issues here and there, the gameplay is actually pretty dang good. It's actually a pretty decent game. Not the best shooter RPG that I've played out there, just not the best shooter period that I've played out there. But it gets the job done. It's fun enough.
It is definitely a game.
Yeah, for sure. When it wants to be, anyway. So the gunplay is split up between handguns, swords. I think you can even do a shield. I think double swords, dual guns, assault rifles, shotguns, miniguns, rocket launchers. Oh, by the way, guys, you know it's a JRPG, of course, and you haven't lived until an android whipped out a rocket launcher and healed you with it. I'm just saying, you have not lived until that has happened to you. Come on now.
I mean,
heal shot.
I haven't been healed by a rocket launcher, but I have been healed by an LMG.
Good old Monster Hunter, you know? Good old Monster Hunter.
Oh, let me see. Who hacked? I think it was Fire Emblem when all the like swords and bows and stuff would like heal you instead of that.
Oh yeah. Some people would ROM hack the old Fire Emblem games, and they'd give weapons healing properties. So what it would literally be was some guy on a horse runs up and stabs another character in the face, and it actually heals him up.
That's
all right. I just like slash you in half. You're not at full health.
Oh, my intestines. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Freaking stabs him in the skull. You fixed my shoulder.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Good old Fire Emblem hacking. I need to get back into that.
Oh, yes, please.
So, yeah, the gameplay is actually pretty dang solid. The way the character moves. Now, some controls here and there are a little funky sometimes, and they don't quite want to work for some reason. You gotta remember, you know, they're Japanese devs porting a JRPGs to the PC, and we all know that JRPGs that didn't come on the PC around launch generally don't get the same treatment. And no one does this. No one is a better example of this than Bandai Namco, really. They are really like the best example of just a bunch of JRPG devs just not really caring all that much when they port it to PC, which annoys me. But again, the mouse and keyboard controls feel good, and the auto-aim is nice and all, but if you play that with mouse and keyboard without the auto-aim, you just feel you feel good playing it, you know? It feels nice. And me personally, I was more of an assault rifle shotgun kind of guy. Eventually I got to a point where I could dual-wield shotguns. I'm talking pump-action shotguns. Like, I didn't even make any sense anymore. It was just an amalgamation of pellets, you know? It was ridiculous. And, yeah, so the shooting feels pretty gay. I like some of the sound effects for them. And, some of them could use a little more weight to their sound effects, but they sounded, like, meaty enough to get the job done. The RPG elements were pretty neat. Although you were mostly locked to you and your android most of the time, so you two were pretty much forced to level up together, which means you have to sometimes level up some of your partners if you want to... Because there's a slew of partners that actually seem like they have their own play styles. Well, you can't play as them, but they have their own, like, styles of fighting that you can have. And they all seem like they're pretty unique for the most part. So, you know, that's pretty cool if you want to try out with some different team builds, build compositions, if you will. And, you know, just leveling up, making them maybe try out new guns and whatnot. You know, just cool stuff like that. Usually I would have the android running with a minigun and an RPG. Usually, actually, I started leaning more towards sniper rifles because of headshot damage, because I'll get to that in a little bit, actually. But, yeah, it was pretty solid. I liked how, you could find random guns, like, oh, this is a pretty, it's a rare gun or something like that. You have to have it get inspected, you know, see what it's at. Upgrading guns felt pretty good. It was a little hard sometimes because you had to farm for it a little bit, and you had to get specific materials to upgrade guns, but it was still pretty neat, you know. But everything does start to get expensive the later you get into it, of course, because it's a JRPG. Why wouldn't stuff get ridiculously expensive near the end of it? But the dungeons themselves, I have to admit, the gunplay in them is fun enough, and the bosses are actually pretty good for the most part in that game. They're actually pretty dang solid. They're fun to fight. But the dungeon design itself, it's either okay or bad. I haven't really seen one that I say it's just good. It's either okay or bad. Mostly because the level design, for one, is pretty dang simple. And you guys know that good old RoberOnocle over here doesn't like simple stuff. You know, so I wasn't too big a fan of that. And sometimes they had like big open spaces, which I could give them open spaces for bosses because they're bosses. They need that big open space, and you need the maneuverability. It makes sense. But when you have a big open space and you have like 5 enemies in there, you're just like, for what though? I did like some of the branching off paths. It was kind of fun to mess around with that, but the level design generally was not very impressive. You had some compositions or layouts that I kind of liked. They were pretty, like, okay, like you're fighting a boss that was just hovering over like a death pit, so make sure you don't get like knocked in the death pit or anything. You could walk up to a higher level if you wanted to like ascend to make it maybe harder for the enemies on the lower level to hit you. Just cool stuff like that, Actually, one of my favorite bosses in the game, I do believe his name is like I think it's Dirty Claw, which is a strange name, but it's a really fun. It actually looks like a Death Claw from Fallout. I'm sure my buddy Mark over here can dig that a little bit. It kind of looks like a Death Claw a little bit, like a cell-shaded Death Claw. But this dude had one combo that was up close and it was lethal, and he would slash you up, and it didn't deal very nice damage. And he had an ability where he could shoot a fireball at you that even if you dodged it, you had to make sure you were not near it because the fireball would light up the ground around it. So it was fire all over the place, so you could still catch yourself on fire. He also had a dashing ability where he would run up on you. You would have to try to either run in one direction and roll all the way or hide behind something. He had another ability where he could jump up and slash you, so if you try to get to him, and this dude is big too. I'm talking like he's at least like 80 feet tall. This dude is really big. It's like sometimes on the higher level, he'll either try to slash you, or if you're just a little higher, he'll try to jump and like try to cut you off and slash you in midair. Try to get that easy hit on you, And I actually just barely beat that boss because all my partners were down. And I couldn't revive him because the boss was hanging around him, so I had to like run around in a big circle and eventually swing myself around. I had to make a leap of faith and use my grappling hook in the game, which the grappling hook is actually quite satisfying to use. Quite linear feel. It has a linear feel to it, but it's satisfying. Because your character can do this vault that's really satisfying, where if he gets near a ledge, he'll like stick his heel out and kick himself up. It looks cool. I can't lie, it looks pretty dang cool. It looks kind of ridiculous when you have a minigun or rocket launcher out, but nevertheless, cool. It looks cool. And you can do the grapple hook too, where like, even if you grapple just below the edge, the character will pull himself, or he'll flip up, and then he'll kick off of the edge and get himself higher. It's some fun stuff to do. It feels really good to do, I can't lie. I had to make a leap of faith where I had to jump off an edge and grapple hook at the last moment just to pull myself up. I gotta kill myself there. But I didn't, because I'm pretty good at video games.
Oh yeah.
Overwatch at least. But yeah, the bosses were really fun in that game. There was also another one too. I forgot his name. I think it was some kind of like, what is it? It was a Greek alphabet name or something like that. I forgot what it was, but it was an android that was a mech that floated in the air, and he had all these attacks that he would try to shoot down at you, and you would have to try to like shoot him from a distance, and he would like dash down and try to hit you sometimes delay his attacks. It was just, the boss battles in that game are pretty dang solid. It's surprising. They did a pretty good job on them for the most part. Actually, there was a boss near the end of the game where he's just a big android, and if you get close to him, he just kicks you out of the way, and he kicks you pretty far. It's humorous.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. he's kind of got that kick like, bro, get off of me kind of kick, you know, just like he's not pleased. But there is an issue with the game, and that is forced grinding. There are some occasions, even if you play the game naturally, there are some moments where they twist your arm a bit, and that's not good. It's not good at all. It's a couple times. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Oh, so grinding is like a big issue with RPGs. Just
specifically JRPGs. JRPGs are going to be the biggest offender of that.
Oh, definitely.
I don't mind a little bit of grinding, but Sword Art Online was like, you have to grind to beat the game. And that's not good. Like, it was pretty much a necessity. That's not good game design at all, no matter how you put that. So
it's the same with Pokemon games for the most part.
Oh, they try to force you to grind sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not I'm sure it's not to the degree that Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet was doing, but Fatal Bullet was kind of mean. And in fact, it got to a point where I was just so done having to go back and grind that I put it on easy mode and just went ahead and beat it. Because I was just like, I'm not having this anymore. And as it turns out, you gotta crank the game on the highest difficulties to get the rarest and the most amazing of loot. Which kind of sucks because, you know, the game is fun. It is very much fun. There's just some unbalanced nonsense here and there. Another gripe that I have with the game, too, is that the game is actually kind of small. And it has a decent amount of invisible walls, which everybody knows that invisible walls suck. Like, they just do. The only exception is that if you already have a big map and you hit an invisible wall near the very end of it, nobody's going to care at that point because you went out too far, you know?
Yeah.
But this is not the case of Fatal Bullet, though. Now, I would say it is an open-world game. But, you know, the worlds they feel pretty confined, you know? A lot of them are big, open, and don't have a lot going on, except for the occasional boss that's just chilling out in the overworld like, hey, what's going on, you know? But generally, it's not a lot going on in the overworld, you know? I see that there are some bonus dungeons, which the only way you can get to some of the bonus dungeons is either playing on higher difficulties or establishing a friendship connection with another character, which I actually never got around to doing. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, the game could be definitely a bit more expansive. The one I can kind of get, the most packed one actually is probably the first map, to be honest. I mean, it has like some dungeons here and there, but just as far as like being the most interesting level design wise, it's probably the first one. It kind of teeters down. Well, I can give the desert one a pass because it's a desert. But, you know, by the third time you get to, like, the city one, which, by the way, the city is in the middle of a big field that has nothing going on in it. So it's just kind of awkward. You can follow the path straight to the city, but there's just nothing going on outside of it other than, you know, the occasional boss that'll whoop your butt in, like, in seconds flat, or, you know, just some enemies just kind of roaming about in the field, but... Yeah, and there's also a forest place, but there's really nothing going on except for a bunch of trees. But yeah, that's really the thing. The gameplay is pretty solid, has some grinding issues here and there, but it's solid enough. But the overworlds are not very good. Kind of. Yeah, they're not really that good, to be honest. I really didn't really wouldn't say none of them stood out to me. I kind of like some of the missions, but even then they kind of recycle them. Because it's just like, hey, just go kill this guy or collect this number of things, you know. Now, even though I did have some frustrations with that game, and there are things that I could not handle. I was just so annoyed with it. I do want to get the season pass and play some more of that game, because it is a good game. Honestly, it is a good game, and I would like to play some more of it. Now, I don't know if I really care about the story content. In fact, I've heard that the first, like, 2 or 3 DLCs only have about an hour's worth of extra story content to them. Which, and also the first DLC, when it first released, before it was, patched, it could break your save file. So, you know, that's fun. Bandai Namco is a good publisher, right? Well, they feel like it.
No.
Well, there you go. But yeah, really, just in general, Bandai Namco needs to really just respect the PC scene some more. they'll respect it after like a month after or so, depending on what happened, you know? It just depends. But yeah, Fatal Bullet, I will say, I've had some frustrations here and there, some cringy as all heck moments, you know, here and there. But overall, I would say it's a good game. I would say it's pretty solid. So, yeah, there's your like 35-minute Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet rant. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Good night. Or good morning, I should say.
All right.
I am now the prison jarred.
The prison. Oh, okay. You're prison jarred now. All right, sweet. And now, Varen is the meme jail veteran. All right, come on now.
We're gonna break out of this prison.
Why would you say that right in front of me?
Right in front of the car.
You have no proof.
All right, screen capture didn't happen. I got you.
Hey man, it's gonna be in this podcast. It's gonna be up on YouTube. So there's your evidence right there.
Oh no, I didn't think this through.
So you just played yourself. Congratulations.
No.
Both live and then later, in a captured yeah, Mark said, little did you know he publishes these. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Like the amount of shots in your foot, I can't even count the shots in your foot right now, man. It's just
what
it's
foot?
Swiss cheese.
Exactly.
Yo, my guy pulled an EA. He shot himself in the foot that hard.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Microtransactions.
I thought EA shooting themselves in the foot was just generally existing.
Are you good, Jared?
Well, the first death on the podcast. Awesome.
Holy crap! Somebody call an ambulance.
Wait, hold on. I'm back.
What did you zip up?
All right. I thought I had to call some. I thought I had to freaking call an amber lamps. The heck is going on?
The amber lamps.
It's all right, guys. I'm back.
Okay.
All right.
So
well, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, my guy. And, you know, I could talk about this other RPG that I kind of like called Lufia the Legend Returns. This is another pretty dope game. So I guess it gets a recommendation from me. But I'll give you fellows some more time to talk about some other RPGs or something like that. I just spent like I'm just over 30 minutes talking about a game that I have a love-hate relationship with. So I'll give you guys some breathing room because that wouldn't be fair.
All right. Monster Hunter. That is all.
That's a good argument.
Fair point.
No. One thing that I just... Oh, God.
No. According to Pro Jared, it's not an RPG. Stop.
Oh.
Man, screw Pro Jared.
No.
Hey, YouTube. He said it, not me, all right? He said it, not me. Oh, man.
Right, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, though. I like Pro Jared. Anyway. You know, I don't care if he says it's not an RPG. It's got the numbers, especially freaking Monster Hunter World, where we actually have freaking damage numbers. Tell me it's not an RPG now. All right, anyway, enough freaking 12 o'clock anger coming out of me because I'm so dang tired, and my filter is off right now, so if something slips through, I'm sorry.
Welcome to the podcast where Markion just slowly dies.
That's every podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's no strength set. You know, Varen, this is why you're in jail, you freaking moron. This is why you're in jail. We don't need strength upgrades in Monster Hunter because we're not freaking scrubs, okay?
No.
You call me when you grinded for freaking 6 months to get one, I repeat, one item.
We're talking about 4 Ultimate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that game is fun.
6 months.
Yeah, that game is fun. When it wants to be.
You've already done that. Okay, but is it against one of the hardest, most BS bosses in the game? Freaking Gravios. I grinded for 6 months.
Was it Gravios or was it the Black Gravios? You know, it doesn't matter because it was G-Rank anyway. It was G-Rank anyway.
It was G-Rank anyway. I was trying to get the Gravios Pallium. Like when you brought up grinding earlier, instantly I thought of Monster Hunter. I instantly thought of Monster Hunter. Oh God, grinding in Monster Hunter. I love and hate it. I love and hate it.
Love it when it works, you know.
Yeah, you love it when it works. You love it when it works. One thing I do hate about it is that they more often than not have the like one of the rarest items on a monster. Like say you'll need a pallium for something, like a Gravios pallium, even though it has like a freaking 3% drop rate or something. That thing has a like you'll need the Gravios pallium for like a helmet, a waist belt, and some boots. So you'll need to get it 3 times. Or you'll need it to like upgrade a sword and shield later. So you need to get it like 5 times.
Hey Keon, remember when I had the pallium and you had the black pallium and we both needed it? Needed the other one?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I'll forget
I assure you, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is a good game. I assure you.
It is a very, very good game. Your Varen's playing freaking Double Cross. Play 4 Ultimate, you scrub.
Ew, babby game.
No.
Anyway, like I was saying. Yeah, I don't have it.
Like,
Yeah, no, I was
just
messing around.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but like...
I was just messing around.
Monster Hunter Generations or Monster Hunter Cross, whatever you want to call it, that left such a bitter taste in my mouth because of just how disappointing of a game that was. It's not necessarily terrible, it's just a terrible Monster Hunter game, let me tell you.
If you want to hear our... No, you were actually here. You were here when we were talking about it on the podcast, so...
Oh yeah, just check that one out again, Varen.
Yeah. I tried MH on 3DS. I can't deal with the controls. That's what everybody freaking says, man.
That's what babbies say. That's what babbies say.
I didn't find the controls that bad, man. You know what? If you think those controls are bad, play Monster Hunter on the PS2. Alright? Play Monster Hunter on the PS2 where you literally can't control the camera.
Okay, you know what? The camera is kind of trash in 4 Ultimate, though. We gotta give them that. It is kind of trash in 4 Ultimate. I love that game.
No, it is... Well, yeah, it's definitely bad in 4 Ultimate. But it's nowhere near as bad as it was in Monster Hunter 1 on the PS2. You can't control the camera. You want to know how you... No, that's Monster Hunter Generations. That's Generations.
No, yeah, that's Generations. Yeah, that's the wrong one. No, see, Generations is the one that's hard.
No, what?
No, wait, did I say Generations? I'm gonna say 4. I'm getting
tired. Wait, what? Generations was easy.
Yeah.
Hello? A death style hammer clearing the whole game.
Okay, I made a mistake. Wow, Jesus! Welcome to Out Loud Podcasting. How many times I'm gonna have to say that?
I think you mean freedom unite. Her. Shut up. Anyway.
No.
Like I was going on about.
Yeah, sorry. We're a couple of 4 Ultimate elitists, so yeah.
We really are, and plus I'm like, it's 12 o'clock. My filter is off. I'm angry right now. All right. I'm just gonna sit here and rant about the BS that I had about the BS things that went on in Monster Hunter.
You know what? It's an RPG. Knock it out.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying, man. I was saying something earlier before my guy said something about it. That for us. Oh yeah. The camera in Monster Hunter 1. Man, that camera. You know, it's a PS2 game. You know, you think you just move with the left stick and move the camera with the right stick. No, you fight with the right stick. How do you control the camera? You have to press L1 to always position it behind your character. There is no free camera control. Try playing like that. At least with the PSP and at least on the 3DS, you can control your camera.
Wow, good old 3D Zelda camera controls. That's nice.
Exactly. It is just...
That's not a compliment, by the way, guys. 3D Zelda cameras, until they got to like the remake era where they started fixing that, before that, 3D Zelda cameras are kind of bad.
Trash.
Yeah, they were not good.
Anyway, I guess I'll just sort of take it from the top of Monster Hunter. Well,
Which
Monster
one?
Hunter, I would... Just like sort of as a whole. I'm just going to talk about it as a whole, then I'll go into 4 Ultimate, then I'll say a little bit about Generation.
Alright, knock yourself out, man.
All right, Monster Hunter as a whole, I will probably say is my current favorite action RPG series. Mainly because, well, I don't really play many other action RPGs except for like a little bit of God Eater. And even then, I don't think that God Eater is all that great because of its sort of cursor controls. Like it's sort of like tank controls. It's kind of weird. It's like it feels like a game that would be best played on keyboard and mouse. Because
is it like a very centered on like the camera?
Yeah, it's very centered on like the camera. It's like like a third-person shooter.
Okay,
kinda.
yeah, I see. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how God Eater feels. I just prefer the the overall feel of Monster Hunter.
Okay.
And man, I just kind of love everything about it. I love the aesthetic, like the time period. And it's like a sort of woodland. No, woodland. I don't know how the heck you would say it, but it's like a woodland sort of era. There's your standard old like jungle maps, your volcano maps, your desert maps, your rocky area maps. Just stuff you'd expect from the older game, like the older sort of times like that. Freaking woodwork times, I would like to say. And man, that game's aesthetic. It just keeps improving with each game. And all the way up until we get to my favorite game, Monster Hunter for Ultimate, which is my favorite Monster Hunter game currently. With Monster Hunter World being in second place, I still need to play that game more. I still have a lot of fun.
Dang, World couldn't topple for Ultimate for you?
That's only because I actually haven't been like playing World too much. Like I don't know why. Every time I hop on World, I have a blast playing it, but then I just kind of don't play it. I don't know why.
Hey, I guarantee you get that on Steam. We're going to be playing that all the time.
Oh, freaking definitely, dude. We're going to be going through all kinds of investigations, man. It's going to be the best. Because, dude, investigation quests are super cool. They're like these quests that you can accept that are pretty much like infinite quests. Like it says, capture an Anjanath, right? You talk to the guys over there at the research facility. You get the investigation from them. And then you can... you go and you accept it like any normal quest. And, well, that quest, it has these 3 special rewards, or the reward number varies. There's a bronze reward, a silver reward, and a gold reward. And depending on how you do, you can actually get all 3 of those rewards. And those rewards will more than likely, like, guaranteed be something that's, like, super rare from the monster. It's a pretty cool system, in my opinion. It gives you just pretty much like a boosted chance to get something decent.
Man, speaking of getting something really quick, can we talk about how fun it is to just collect stuff in that game? Like, man, it just feels so good. Never in a game, period, where I'm chasing something, I'm like, get back here! And I'm like, ooh, some berries, and I'll just, like, get right back into it.
Ooh, berries. That's me in Monster Hunter World, except when we were talking about Monster Hunter, we can just run past to pick up the berries.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like you could just grab it on your way. You're just like, and it just feels good, man. Like the way they they do it so smooth, man. Like with the way they grab it and just keep really going.
Smooth. Right, it's really smooth. Except for if for Ultimate where you gotta freaking stop, bend down, pick up.
Yeah, for Ultimate's looting and just it's grinding for items can be quite boring sometimes.
Yep, that's why. Don't do it. Ha 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 ha. But anyway. Yeah.
See, this is why your builds are always like really simple, Keon.
Well, duh.
You never do any grinding. You only grind when you have to.
Of course. Why would I ever freaking put any freaking extra strain on myself? And I play fighting games, and all I do is pick top tier. Because why would I want to sit there and freaking like work so hard for a win? No, I'm kidding, of course.
I don't like working hard for a win.
Yeah, as we have learned from the last podcast, Jared. As we have learned from the last podcast.
Yeah, Jared, this is probably why you're a freaking Bayonetta main in Smash Bros.
No, you can't prove it.
Anywho.
Huh?
Anywho, going more on about Monster.
Yes, please tell them
from
more.
Going into my favorite Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. That's sort of like my big entry point to the series, and of course, like where I started getting into it, which I of course talk about on the Monster Hunter podcast, which you can go and listen to. So
one of the best ones, guys. Just saying.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's probably like that one and the podcast. I mean, the platform preferences are like my two favorite. But yeah, going on away from like how much I gush about the aesthetic, because I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to. I'm going to talk about more of the mechanics of For Ultimate. For Ultimate is of course just your standard. You get armor, you get stats with that armor. That's kind of Monster Hunter in a nutshell, actually. You get armor, that armor has stats, and the armor has skills sometimes. For example, if you want to get a new armor set, this armor set will come with, it'll come with not individual skills. It'll come with skills that every other thing of that type will have. Like if you're building a set that's all about like one monster, like let's use a Tigrex for example. Like if you want to build like an entire Tigrex armor set, then it'll all have like the one or two skills like in common. So you'll have a one or two skills active. Like say if it gives you like Speed Eater or like Stamina Drain or something like that. That's one thing to keep in mind, and that's one thing that will really help you get into your builds. That's one thing I super like about the game is the different builds you can have with different armor sets. It really encourages like grinding out different monsters to unlock their armor sets to get like all their skills that they conceal and hold behind their their armor. And like it's one of the more, in my opinion, that's one of the better things about Monster Hunter. Even though one of the main things that I did in Monster Hunter was just wear one armor set and just never take it off.
Team Deora, come on! Where are y'all at? Right, come on now!
Right, freaking Deora. Like, yeah, that's a cool system and all, but I think my favorite iteration of armor has to probably come from how Monster Hunter World does their armor, actually. In Monster Hunter World, like a monster set doesn't have a common skill, actually. Like each little piece of the monster's like helmet, body part, gloves, waist, and boots all have a different skill on them. Like say I can have a helmet that has like speed sheathing, but the body will have focus, which is like fast charge, and the legs will have speed eater and whatnot. This means that you can essentially stack skills and have like a bunch of skills. Sure, they won't be like as powerful as they are.
No, of course.
For Ultimate, but yeah, that'd just be broken because in a world, skills actually go by level. Like for example, like I said earlier, you got that focus, that speed sheathing, all the other good stuff. They all start off at level 1 in Monster Hunter World. What you'll want to do if you want to level them up is get either other armor pieces that have that same one skill in common, or you can get decorations, which I haven't delved too far into. I'm not that far into the game yet, actually, to know how decorations work quite yet. I know that they're very different than what they were in the older games, so I can't really speak too much upon World's decoration system, but I think they also have something to do with skills that can help you level up your skills so you can have a build that you want and whatnot. But I always found that to be a lot better than the older skill systems because you can sort of prioritize what you want to have. Like, when you're running a greatsword, like I do, greatsword's a very slow class. What you'll be doing a lot is sheathing your sword, running around, slashing, like that. And one thing that you'd want to do is always carry something called speed sheathing. which is pretty much just what it says. You put your weapon back faster. In Monster Hunter World, you can have speed sheathing and fast charge because Greatsword uses fast charging, like it charges up its attacks for like every once in a while. If you have fast charge, of course, that decreases the time.
Did they call it fast charge in World?
I think it's still called focus, but okay. I'm just like saying fast charge.
Right.
Yeah. Just universal. But
of course.
What you can actually do is you can actually have both skills, but you can actually prioritize one over another. And I think that that's pretty cool. You can, like, sure, it'll be weaker, but you can still have the skill. It'll still help you a little bit, even in the long run. So you can have, you can have your fast charge, you can have your sheathing, and you can have, like, 2 other skills that you want, or 3 other skills that you want, or whatever the heck. You can have, like, your own, just your own mesh load of skills put together on your one hunter. And I think that really, really, really just puts the like the concept of building more upon the player, because back in 4 Ultimate you had to stack upon gems and jewels to make decorations if you wanted like a lot more if you wanted more points to actually unlock the skill. Because in 4 Ultimate, and I believe all the other past games, you had to get skill points for a skill. Like, say you wanted fast charge, you would have to get 10 fast charge points in order to actually get fast charge. But in World, it's not like that. And I think that that's pretty good because it gives you a bit more freedom, in my opinion. And it's a heck of a lot less of a hassle to me, too.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a more lenient version of the previous system. Because of course, leveling skills is not a new thing, but it just seems like it's more liberal, Lets you try out some more things.
Yeah.
What that really doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, dude, it's freaking good, dude. I have like you don't know how happy I am now that I'm a Greatsword user that can have focus, quick sheathing, freaking poison resistance, and paralysis resistance all on me at the same time. That means I cannot get freaking paralyzed while charging my Greatsword. It is just wonderful.
Fellas, I could go on for hours of the horror stories of like Keon getting infuriated with a Monster Hunter game. It ain't pretty.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, good thing these podcasts are PG, because
it wouldn't it wouldn't be too good, man.
No.
I'm taking you down to Sailor Town. Like, that's how bad it would be. Like, we're going down to Sailor Town.
Must we talk about the Shaggaroo?
No.
Oh boy.
Man, if you want to see a livid Keon.
Oh god, the bosses in Monster Hunter. Yeah, because it's just never a freaking... Yeah, just an hour-long sensor beep. Yep, he's got it. No, an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, but Mark's got it, man. He's got
just
that
all
right
about
on.
that one boss.
Just about that one boss. But dear God, it's of course not an RPG without the bosses.
No, of course.
Shagaru Magala is like... Take a white dragon, blind it, give it horns, put it in a big open area, give it super speed, and give it the ability to give someone Ebola at any point in the match.
He actually isn't really wrong about that, Jared. He's he's got on the money here.
And you're using a big, slow weapon while this thing is just speeding across the stage and chucking fireballs at you like Guile from Street Fighter 2.
Sounds like bad time.
It is, especially when you're using the freaking Greatsword, because first of all, you have to catch that thing first. Like, you have to run up to it and freaking draw your sword. Ugh.
The best joke we made about that was if hunter.greatsword equals true, then hitbox equals 0.
Freaking hitbox equals 0. If Hunter has great sword, and if Hunter is in like X coordinate freaking 50 to monster, initiate jump the other direction. Freaking jump the other direction.
It's like jump equals minus whatever your distance is from the hunter. Right. He just kind of backs up.
Like, get back here. I'm not done with you yet. But yeah. Shagaru Magala is like my.
That's a coding joke, kids.
You'll get that if you knew coding like I do, and he does, and Jared does. But anyway, like I was saying, that monster was just a nightmare for me because, well, like any action RPG, different classes calls for different move sets, and that's one thing I just freaking love about Monster Hunter is the different move sets and how the move sets evolve with each game.
Yeah.
If I didn't say that I had some of the most fun with an RPG playing the Sword and Shield in Monster Hunter World, I'd be lying to you. The Sword and Shield in Monster Hunter World is beautiful. You can't kill that thing.
Imagine how happy I was, dude. A Sword and Shield main. Bro, I was raining like rainbows and sprinkles, man. I was just like, yes! Yes! We have reached the peak!
Dude, I was raining hell on everything I fought, dude. My poison Sword and Shield freaking jump striking up into the air and literally knocking monsters down and doing mounts and everything. Man, it is the greatest.
That thing is fun, man.
Oh, it is super fun. I still use it, like, to this day. Sword and Shield is still my favorite weapon in World, even though I'm a great sword. But, speaking of great sword, thank you that they buffed the speed on it. Because, dear God, catching that Shagaru Magala in 4 Ultimate traumatized me.
You know, there's something we learned about, well, really, this is just Monster Hunter games in general. But something about Monster Hunter is that if you have a main of any type, don't try to rely on that all the time. Chances are you run into that one monster, whether it be a random monster or a quest monster, that is a counter against your main. And you will learn really quick that you can't use that to beat them, or at least not to beat them fast enough. For Keon over here, it's any monster that has strong spacing. For me, it's any monster that has more, like, horizontal spacing. Because Sword and Shield can't do jack squat against a monster that keeps going around you. Not so much when they're backing up. I'm sorry?
Yes, it has side checking, just not the range for it.
Yeah. If a monster's backing up, all you have to do is just run up and slash them. But if they're circling around you, yeah, good luck. Good luck.
You better hold that guard button and freaking reposition yourself.
Right, yeah, good luck, man. And it hurts us both, you know, because we get really salty about it. But you know what we do? You gotta switch out, and that's the magic of Monster Hunter. It teaches you to get out of your comfort zone. Because, yes, I mean, let's be honest, what fun would it be if you could run, you can't even run, like, really all of 4 Ultimate with the Charge Blade, and that thing is overpowered. But by G-Rank, yeah, it doesn't work like that anymore. You actually have to try something else. Which is why it's awesome.
Actually, there has been a few studies. You literally can just Charge Blade through the game, unfortunately.
Is that just doing, like, the main quest?
Sad. Doing the main quest and a few of the G-Rank quests.
Okay.
Like, you can
a few of a keyword, a few. A key term, not word.
You can Charge Blade your way through to G3. You can Charge Blade to G3, not really through G. But
right. So you can't beat it. You can just get far with it.
Yeah, Charge Blade is still retarded though.
Yeah. I don't think Charge Blade will be good against that one Shagaru, though. I just don't see that happening. That thing was,
Me neither.
I witnessed the entire thing, guys. It was terrible. We had to stop the quest and actually, have Keon switch out his loadout because it was just becoming... It went from, like, me and Keon versus the Shagaru to just me versus the Shagaru. And that was a problem.
And what sucked was that it completely ignored me, too. Like, I was trying to attack it. Every time I get close, it didn't even shoot a fireball at me.
It was just like, no, you're not touching me. You just won't.
It's like I didn't exist. I felt so offended.
Just major rude right there.
But man, no, I'm gonna keep it short. It's almost 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, we're going on 2 hours, my guy.
I'm going to actually sit here and talk about something that we actually didn't get to talk about on the Monster Hunter podcast, and that was, well, what's a good JRPG what's a good action RPG or an RPG without a good freaking licking from a boss? 2 words: Molten Tigrex.
Oh, all right. Now I dare you to try to beat that with the Charge Blade. That is impossible. Trying to properly do it. Ugh.
Molten Tigrex. Me and Robert here sat here for a good 3 hours, switching out loadouts every little freaking time we could to try and beat this thing. This Molten Tigrex, it's a big, like, grounded wyvern with a large tail. Usually a Tigrex and a Brute Tigrex is known for their speed and how they overwhelm the hunter. This one, take what you know about fighting a Tigrex, throw it out of the window, grab a flamethrower, burn it, take the ashes, put it in a space shuttle, fly it into space, blow up the space shuttle, alright? That's what you need to do.
Oh, route it to the sun, of course. Route it to the sun. The space shuttle route it to the sun.
Yeah, route it to the sun. Yeah, route it to the sun. That's what you need to do to prepare to fight against this monster. This thing's visual cues are so unreliable. Like, it's crazy. It'll look like it's going one way, and then it'll actually, like, skip a frame, go a different way, sort of. And it's very, very, very oddly, like, paced.
Yeah.
Like, it'll look like it's going fast, but it's actually going slow. You'll be running a different way because you think it's, like, coming after you super fast. So your camera's, like, not really centered on it, but then it'll stop and then roar at you. His roar does damage. And you're not expecting that because you thought that he'd already be, like, all up in your face. So you're just running. But no, he stopped and he freaking roared at you and you're taking damage.
Yeah, the baiting is so slow that you can't tell whether or not it's going to bait you. That's the scary part about the Molten Tigrex.
Yeah. On top of his already ridiculous damage and range. Let's also not forget the most accursed part of that fight. The gas.
The lean gas.
God.
The lean gas.
The gas. The freaking gas. This thing has its it has an attack where it like sort of shoots out this red gas or this red like smoke, and this smoke if it gets on you, you'll start to spark, and if you spark for long enough, you'll explode and you'll do a multitude of damage. Like a freaking huge chunk of your life bar. Thing is, though, if this gas hits you, it can actually knock you over. That's the annoying part about it. And almost every time after this thing does its stupid slow baits, if you don't fall for it, then the gas is coming to hit you. It comes to hit you, you get knocked down. That thing has frame advantage. It's coming after you.
Do not forget also that if the Molten Tigrex makes contact with that gas on you, that triggers the explosion early. Which means that its damage that it deals to you is stacked with that explosion.
The explosion.
And it ain't pretty.
Equal your entire bar. It could equal your entire bar.
Yes, it could.
If you're not well equipped. But geez, dude. Like I said, that thing has frame advantage. It's coming after you, and you don't know what it's gonna do. It could try and bait you again. It could roar. It could trap you in all these different scenarios. Me and Robert had to take a break in the middle of the day, like a freaking 40-minute break to actually calm down and recollect ourselves, just to come back and beat this thing. How hard is a boss like that? Like, how do you make a boss that difficult that you literally need to stop? It's 2-on-1. You need to stop and take a break. And it's just a normal fight in the game, apparently. And you gotta farm that thing for some good stuff. And
you know what the best part was?
Let me tell you. What's up?
It was high rank. We haven't even done G rank yet.
Yeah, that was a high rank fight. We didn't even have G rank stuff, but we had like peak high rank stuff and freaking Elder Dragon armor. Like some of the strongest armor that you could get at the time. And here we are just getting freaking creamed.
And it ain't even the hardest.
By this one monster. Right. I will have to say that boss right there since it doesn't do like any sort of normal elemental damage, your resistances that you have with your armor, whether it be fire, ice, thunder, dragon, or whatever the heck, that doesn't matter because you can't get explosive resistance. So you're just taking physical damage and explosive resistance. I mean explosive damage. So you're on your own pretty much.
It is pure skill and good judgment.
And dear God is the judgment. And dear God is making the judgments just hard as crap because that thing is just so oddly slow.
Oh man, imagine if I got a 140 guild Molten Tigrex mission. Now that, as that boss said, is absolute worst you could possibly have it at. The G3-iest of the G3s.
If I didn't already break my 2DS, and I would have broken my 2DS.
Man. And if you guys don't know, a 140 Guild Quest mission is a mission you basically have to do perfectly. Because the monster deals such high damage to the point where you don't want to be hit by it. It's pretty much like...
basically a guild...
Dodge or die. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. A guild quest is something that you get from like doing expeditions. You encounter a monster on an expedition, you'll get a quest for it. It's a special kind of quest that you can keep doing over and over. And as you do it over and over, you'll keep leveling up the quest. The more you level it up, the stronger the monster gets. And the max level is level 140. And of course, as you can imagine, it's complete hell.
Yeah, the boss pretty much becomes a raid boss at that point. Has a lot of hit points, and it requires a lot of skill. You can't mess it up, man.
And precision. Well, and I'm just going to leave off with this note. The Molten Tigrex was the hardest RPG boss that I've ever fought. Period.
And you know what the sad part is? Didn't even rely on grinding. Just had to get good.
Right, we just had to get good, man. We already had like the best stuff that we could get at the time. We just had to tough it out. But you know what we did. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. My brain is like freaking cultivating into mush right now. So I'm gonna pass this off to someone else.
All right.
Whoever wants it takes it.
Well, I guess I haven't said anything for like 30 minutes. I was thinking since this is an RPG discussion, like I'm wondering like what do you think makes a good RPG?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's
Jared
a question.
asked probably the best questions tonight, to be honest. What makes a good RPG? Okay, so Keon, you first. Actually, I'll be right back. Your Uncle Robert has drank a lot of water tonight, and he has to go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back.
Same.
Oh dear.
So you guys take it away. I'll be back with you. All right?
Alrighty. Well, what makes a good RPG? That's actually a very sort of subjective kind of thing, since it varies between taste of people. For me, I prefer an RPG to have a decent story and even better characters. Because when it comes to an RPG, one of the things that I love the most are, the characters, the party members that you'll need to know. And I want there to be decent pacing, decent leveling up, like a decent spread of stats, nothing that's like too complicated. I want there to be simplistic combat, like kind of like Persona 3s or Personas, where it's like not too many freaking options, where it's like, all right, attack, like use ultimate, use a normal skill, use this item to like something like that. Like, no thank you. I just prefer an attack button, a magic button, like a switch weapons button, an item button, just that pretty much. Another good thing about an RPG would be how it handles currency, because you'll be needing to buy things. Like, there shouldn't just be like currency just everywhere for the heck of it. Then it would just lose value because like, why even carry it anymore? Another one thing would be item drops. Like having super rare items and whatnot, having items vary between strength that you can get. Like finding rare items is a freaking blast. That's one of my favorite things about Monster Hunter for Ultimate was doing guild quests and getting like the super rare swords and super rare weapons and armor and stuff like that. Like that stuff right there is just amazing. Is that? Yeah, I said characters. I said decent story. Yeah, and just a really good overworld. An overworld that pretty much just entices exploration. One that's really big.
Okay, I officially no longer want to die. What did I miss?
I've just sort of been giving my answer. You can like listen to it over later.
Okay.
But
Wait, what makes a good RPG? Right. Okay.
For me, what makes good RPGs is choice. I love I actually love those like pen and paper RPGs. You know, the tabletop games.
Oh, for sure.
Where there's like multiple ways to defeat an enemy. I can just like up front like sword and shield just fight them, or you can like throw a bottle to trip them, or set up a trap for them. I just like or I hate having like a set path that you have to do in order to complete like an objective. And this is ironic coming from the Pokemon player that press A to win. That's the main thing I like, and I definitely love the character progression and stuff. The journey. I guess I have another thing to say, but I'll talk about that later. So what do you like, Rob?
Okay, so for me, it's similar to yours with choice and whatnot. I definitely do like combat choices, which is why this game called Luffy the Legend Returns is one of my favorite RPGs ever. Even if it is heavily flawed in some aspects, but I really like how it handled its combat because each character has their own style of fighting. Even if they're similar to each other, they all have something about them that is notably different about the other. Like, for instance, Wayne, he's a standard sword and shield kind of guy. Cena, that's a funny name. Cena, she's more of a typical mage. She's the beefiest mage that you'll get in the game, actually.
Wow.
The princess, whose name I can't remember at the moment, she's quite a beefy mage, but more on the healer side. She's more of a healer character. Randolph, who is my freaking dude, by the way, is like an old war veteran dude who runs around with great swords and whatnot. This guy just tears everything apart, and he's got a lot of hit points. This guy is awesome. The only thing is that I think his miss chance is a little higher, I want to say, and a lot of his abilities, his special skills in particular, are quite expensive because he's just such a brute, man. We're talking like this dude is like easily like a 60 or 70-year-old, just veteran, man. Like, this guy has seen it all, and he's awesome. He's a great swordsman. I mean, come on now, guy's amazing. But you also have another one of my favorite characters, which is Aima, who is a martial artist. She's awesome because she has a lot of skills specialized in just ground enemies and whatnot. But she's got one of my favorite abilities, which I can't remember the name of it for some reason. I beat the game back in like March, so it's been a while. But there's this one ability, I forgot what it's a flurry rush attack, where it might have been called flurry actually, I'm not quite sure. But it costs a lot of skill points to use, but your character gets 6 free hits.
6.
Yes.
Wow. Oh wow.
And they hit pretty hard too. And like the build up to it is just satisfying because you see the animation play out, so it's like 1, 2, 3, and you just see like your character or Aima, actually another character, Day can actually do that as well. Is nowhere near as strong because he's not a martial artist, he's a thief character. But Aima, like she tears them apart. And if she kills somebody in the flurry, she just goes on to the next enemy and starts beating them with the remaining punches that she has. Like, she's not messing around. And if she kills them, she moves on to the next one. It's just, she's amazing, man.
Wow.
And she also has, like, I forgot what it's called. It's a last-ditch effort one, but you use all of your skill points into one final blow that deals, like, it's like, and the further you get in the game, the more absurd the damage is. Like, you can get to, like, 4,000 damage or something like that. She just deals one punch that is just so lethal. Like, Aima is probably, you know, really, either between Randolph and Aima, I don't know. They're both awesome characters for their own reasons. And Randolph is just, he's hard. This dude is hardcore. Like, one, all of his abilities cost a lot, but they all deal high damage. But he has an ability where he can suck his own life energy out and put it into an attack. Actually, one time he was struck with confusion and he did that attack and he drained the life out of himself and killed himself, so he didn't even get to swing it. It was the funniest thing ever. He just like, and then just passed out. I'm like, that's flawless, Randolph. Flawless. But he was confused. I couldn't blame him, but it was just hilarious still. But yeah, that game is, it's... My biggest gripe with it is the fact that it has randomly generated dungeons, which is why I desperately think the game desperately needs a remake so it can have official dungeons. Because if you have official dungeons, then the game is set. Because that game is very solid. And I talked about this game in Stories and Video Games before in another podcast. But that game's story isn't all that great, but it's the characters that really bring it together. The characters are amazing. Whether they're serious or being funny. That game's characters is really what it's all about, story-wise.
I feel like characters. I think you'll like Fire Emblem. I have Fire Emblem Awakening. I love the characters in that. I don't know. I'd hang out with these characters if they were real. I was actually I actually finished the game up just the other day, and I was kind of sad because oh no,
it's all over.
It's gone. It's all over.
But I agree with you. Good characters can save a bad story easily. Actually,
that's exactly what I said earlier. Like, what makes a good RPG? When he asked me, I said good characters. That's one of my my strongest points about RPGs. I guess that's one reason why I love Persona so much. Because, dear God, the characters in Persona are so good.
You know, speaking of characters and whatnot, you mind if I talk about a game called Earthbound for a little bit?
What's that?
It has a special take on characters.
Thing is, I kind of do because I need to go to sleep. It's like 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll make it quick, man. I'll make it quick. You know, like Robert quick, you know. I try to do the best I can, all right? But I understand,
fair enough.
You know, your biological clock is on a limit here.
I don't even have biological clock anymore.
Same here. Yeah, college destroyed that.
Yep.
But
mine was gone in high school.
Oh man. But yeah, let's get to the point here. So Earthbound, something I really liked about Earthbound, and I really didn't I really couldn't pinpoint it, but I kind of knew about it in a sense. It was at a video called Treesicle, who they broke down what Earthbound is all about. And to put it in a nutshell, it's about discovering who you are as a person. And they were saying, like, in Earthbound sense, it's not talking about what you possess, what you own, you know, in a sense. It's talking, like, cutting out all that stuff, you know, the possessions, all the subjective stuff in life. It is breaking down exactly understanding who you are as a person. You're the caliber, down to, like, the bone, essentially. You know, and, you know, I think that's what really clicked with me so well with that game because, you know, it had a really nostalgic feeling about it, you know, like the feeling of innocence and, you know, because, I mean, the game, when you reach the 8 melodies and whatnot, when you reach the 8 locations, you know, it's Ness reflecting back on himself. So that theme is constantly reintroduced, and it's really nice. And there's a spoiler thing. I can't really explain everything about the ending because I don't know, Keon, if you have plans to play Earthbound, I would strongly recommend it, by the way. But I really can't spoil exactly what happens near the end of it. But it's just something that just helps. Let's just say it helps the player connect with the game too. You know, so it becomes a fact that, you know, everybody understands the stakes that are at hand, but they have cut out everything. They understand the situation perfectly. They understand themselves perfectly, and they get the job done. And it all ends up in a happy ending that wraps up quite good because, you know, you saved the world, but in Earthbound sense, you saved the world. The real you, in a sense. And that's what I dig so much about that. And I don't know exactly where Mother 3 goes with that, but I know at Mother 3 I heard is more about making you cry than anything else like that. But I think that magic just kind of disappeared after Earthbound. Earthbound Beginnings kind of had some of that, but Earthbound Beginnings is a little more on the mystery side than it is discovering yourself, if I were to be honest. But Earthbound is just, it has such magic to its story in a sense of just discovering yourself and, you know, just learning sometimes to just, you know, look past all the bad stuff and, you know, calm down and just, you know, just stop and smell the flowers, you know? And sometimes that flower, as weird as it might sound, it might be yourself, you know? It's weird. It's a really happy feeling about it, which is why Earthbound, even if mechanically it is not the best, it is my favorite RPG of all time and it is my favorite game of all time. No game has really hit that point for me, like ever again. I don't know if it ever will. Even Undertale, which, you know, in some sense, of course, its story is better than Earthbound's, but even then, what Undertale gets down to, which I've already covered a video about why I have a problem with the story anyway, but even when it gets down to, it still isn't still what Earthbound did. And I don't know if I'll see something like that ever again, you know? Earthbound kind of like, it set the bar for me. For RPGs and for a game, period. So yeah. Earthbound, best RPG ever played, best game I've ever played. That's all I got, folks.
Well, I think what makes a good RPG, I think that's a good wrap-up point, then.
Oh, for sure, man.
I mean, I actually had a bit more to say, but I see no reason why we can't do a second.
We can do a second one.
RPG, yeah.
That's why I made these podcasts more lenient and more improvisational exactly for that reason, because it leaves. Oh, because we could cover plenty more stuff. I didn't even talk nowhere near as much as I could about Luffy: The Legend Returns, man. I love that game. But yeah, for the sake of Keon, because I don't know, he doesn't have the biological clock that we do. We'll have to compensate, but that's fair.
That we don't.
Yeah, that we don't, of course. But we'll have to compensate. Of course, we have to be fair to everybody. Keon, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just probably gonna say like, well, next time maybe I'll say something about Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, shit, we get another one this week. I don't care. It's Thanksgiving podcast week time, man. Can't stop, won't stop. Anyway, guys, that was our take on RPGs and video games. This is an over 2-hour podcast. I had a ton of fun doing this. What do you guys feel about this?
I had a great time too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
All right.
Yeah. Had laughs, we had sadness, we had very humorous quips at each other. It was perfect, you know? It was the perfect podcast, you know? You know what?
And
just like the platform preferences one, we're just all knocking each other all the time. And you know what? That's cool.
Sometimes you end up in meme jail, but you know, it's all worth it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you and Varen get nice and acquitted because you guys are gonna be in there for a while.
Actually, talked to him, I messaged him in the chat when it was you two talking for a bit. I was like,
yeah, I saw you having a conversation.
We gotta get out of here. Oh no.
But yeah, it's glad. You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad to see that you guys are having a good time with this. It means you're comfortable. That's exactly what these podcasts are all about. So, good to see that you guys really enjoyed yourselves. So, yeah, guys, I'm RoberOnocle. This was Keon and Jared. We will see you guys next time.
All right. Goodbye.
Later.
Yeah.